Hello everyone. Today I'm making a video on my build, my PC build, and some of the, decisions that went into building this PC. And I think, some of them are smart, some of them maybe weren't, as smart, but generally I think I have a pretty balanced build, you know, and so and I made a couple of decisions that I think might be able to be applicable to other people, deciding to just start building, a PC or something. Um, because I think in some aspects I'm future proofed. Um, because when you talk about future proofing, you're not just talking about GPU, CPU. Um, you're talking about, really when when you're talking about future proofing, you're talking about power supply, motherboard, um, you know, CPU cooler. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it because there's not a whole lot. Reason I say motherboard is because, like, for example, the AM5 socket, we are expecting AMD's next gen CPUs to still support the AM5 socket and still be usable with the AM5 socket, whereas Intel, they're always switching up sockets. So each generation, you're gonna have to buy a brand new motherboard. And yeah, it's kind of consumer unfriendly, to put it lightly. So, and then fans, obviously, you want to get good quality fans, but I've never personally ever had a fan fail on me, no matter what brand I've ever used from. I have a bunch, I used, okay, if I'm being honest with you, if you're trying to be cost conscious, and I'm about to show you the build too, I'm just rambling for a second here, but if you're trying to be cost conscious, I recommend getting the Arctic either P12s or P14s. They don't have RGB, they're not flashy, they're not, super special or anything, but they're great fans. They run, you know, relatively quiet. They're very inexpensive. Like I think I got a pack of 5 for $35. So when it comes to fans, and if you're on like a budget, do not overpay for fans. Don't buy Lee and Lee fans. Don't buy, Noctua fans. You don't need to do that because um and especially with like a fan curve, like if you take just not even an hour out of your day to make a pretty decent fan curve, you'll have a with the Arctic P12s or P14s, you'll have a very cost effective solution that's also not loud either. Um, I personally do have Liam Lee fans, but then again, remember I've been in the PC building space for the last like 6, 7 years, so it's like, and I just recently got Liam Lee fans, so I haven't had these, have I've always been on the side of performance first, cost is while also trying to keep cost very low or very reasonable at the very least. Like for example, when I got my 4090 um about a year and a couple months ago, I don't have a 4090 anymore, I sold it, but regardless, back when I got it, I paid 1100. I actually bought two at the same time, so I bought one for 1100 and one for 1000. um and that's just because I bought the first one for 1100, and then he was like, "Oh, I have one more back at my place, and you want to come look at it." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so I went to his place, and I was like, "I gotta ask, man, will you do it for 1,000 instead of 1100?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, man." Um, but that was crazy because he used to work at Newegg, and Newegg like shut down the facility, and he just got two free 4090s. So pretty much he made a free $2,100 and I got two 4090s. So, it was kind of a win-win no matter which way you look at it. So, um, but anyways, so here, this is my build. Oh God, hold on. My my bad. My webcam cable is kind of all over the place. All right, here we go. So if we take a step back, obviously, okay, so this is not the best webcam, obviously. The contrast is blown out to hell and back. But anyway, so I got two Lian Lee fans below my these are 140 millimeter below my XTX, Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and open this. Oh, and my case is the Lian Li V3000. Do you need a Lian Li V3000? Absolutely not. This is completely overkill. Not even it, like great case, really cool because it's like the biggest consumer case that you could buy. But do I recommend? Probably not. It's super. It's just not. It's just not. What's the word I'm looking for? It's God, I can't think of the word. It's not reasonable, right? Like it's not a reasonable case to have. Like bringing this PC this PC is probably like 150 pounds or something ridiculous. So anyways, we got three Lian Li fans blowing out through a 420 millimeter Arctic AIO, and then a big reason why I like this AIO, it's not like RGB. Obviously the fans are RGB, but these aren't the fans um, that came with the cooler. Obviously, these are Lian Li fans. So, is that this piece comes off and it has like I don't know if you can see, but it has a little fan in there, and it blows on the VRM MOSFETs on the motherboard, and it just keeps me nice and close to the board. Fucking getting my finger blasted. Oh, okay. Um, and then so yeah, when that connects, the fan spins and it blows on those right over. So yeah, all over. And I got this cooler for like $60 on Facebook Marketplace, and it was like brand new. So yeah, I definitely recommend. Arctic coolers are fantastic. The only thing I hate about this cooler, the only thing I hate are these screws. I cannot. These screws are the worst. I'm not gonna lie, they're stripped. I'm still able to like take it on and off, but you have to use I have to use a little more pressure than I kind of would like with that. Um, so and then I have three fans on my memory. Now this is kind of one of those more like, you know, if you want to do it, you can, but it's definitely not necessary. I think I spent $12 per fan, so 36 in total. And then this housing that you see right here, that's like kind of on the fans. It's not actually like secured down. It's just secured down by the latches in the back, the ram latches, and it's very easy to God, my arm's getting tired. You can just take it off. You can see there is there are the fans and the like mount or whatever. So very simple. Don't even have matching screws for them, but you know. And then obviously got G Skill RAM underneath there, and then that literally just sits on there like that. And even with like even with the um, the GPU out, it's not like this is actually sitting on the. I mean, it does kind of sit on the GPU, but with the GPU out, I've never had it fall or anything like that. And that's 3D printed, so very, you know, probably costed me like damn 10 cents to actually print that or something. Um, but yeah, no, it's just it kind of looks cool. I like it, and the it keeps my RAM very cool. Um, and it's realistic. Like having, in my opinion, like okay, Build Zoid, he'll always have a 120 millimeter, you know, like fan blowing on his sticks, and I'm like, bro, just do something like this or something. Get like a 3 times PWM connector to like, you know, to one or something, and then just have three fans blowing. Like this would look. This is just so much cleaner. Anytime I see a video where he has like just a 120 millimeter fans blowing on the RAM, I'm like, and he recommends people to put a fan on the RAM. I'm like, first off, it just looks dumb having one big 120 millimeter fan blowing on your RAM, and second off, it's like this is probably gonna cool them better anyways because you have three what are they, 40 millimeter fan, or I can't remember, 20 something, no, definitely not 20 millimeter, I think they're 40 something millimeter, 48 millimeter or something fans. um but having three fans blowing directly on both sticks is obviously going to cool them better than one 120 millimeter fan kind of blowing on them because he'll have them at an angle. So I'm like, clearly one ram stick is getting all the air, and then the other one is kind of getting, it's still getting air, but not as much. And then obviously my wonderful one my wonderful beautiful XTX. Um, I recommend if you're trying to be cost effective, AMD all the way. There's just no question about it. 5070 Ti's are over $1,000 right now. So yeah, get a 9070 XT or something like that, or go on the used market, find a 90 or 6950 XT or a XTX or an XT. Like you're going to get so much more rasterization performance out of AMD for the money than you will with NVIDIA. I mean, but that's pretty much self-explanatory. I feel like most, and then don't obviously these are NVIDIA damn GPU holders, but the reason why I have these actually is because and I use them is because they were a gift for my birthday last year. So from one of my friends, he was going crazy with his like brand new band, but I keep them turned around because obviously can't have NVIDIA showing with an AMD GPU. Come on now. And then I actually have another one. So with GPU, because I don't actually have screws in there, because periodically I'll pick out my GPU, and I just came to the conclusion that having screws is kind of more. It just gets in the way half the time, and it's not really necessary in my opinion unless you're moving your PC everywhere. And clearly, with how behemoth like my PC is, it's just not even, you know, it, it's not going anywhere. And I have actually brought it places, but in that case, I'll literally just take the GPU out anyways and then just move it because I'll be too paranoid. And then like I was talking about the Arctic fans, these are those Arctic P14s. So I think I have three of them. Yeah, three of them in the front. They work great. They're quiet. They're not flashy. They're not, anything special, but they get the job done. They work, and I've never had one fail on me. And they're great fans. They're great overall PC case fans. Um, yeah, and they might even I don't really know, but they in terms of noise level, like they're just as good, if not better than Lee and Lee. Um, Oh, and by the way, with okay, I recommend everyone put fans under their GPU. I don't care who you are. I don't care what GPU you have. Put fans under your GPU. And for this, if you were gonna get like nice fans, get okay. I would, I know they have what is it, Asia something fans that also connect together. But in terms of having fans with the GPU, these are so convenient, because they just connect together, and it just looks really clean with the fans connected together, and they just blow on the because like having two separate fans, it becomes a mess having it under the GPU. You already see like I'm having to kind of like bend my cables out the way, which is like fine. Like it's not actually putting any stress in the cables. But you can imagine having two fans separated, it's really difficult to get it to look right and for them to be spaced up. And yeah, it's just a lot. So definitely, if you're going to put fans under your GPU, try to get some that connect together in some sort of fashion. And these are just super convenient. Do I recommend go with like Asia Horse or something like that? You don't need Lee and Lee fans. It's kind of, and the reason why this might look counterintuitive, but because I just realized that some of y'all might be looking at this and thinking that this is the wrong orientation, but these are actually reverse blade fans, and so are these as well. So these are actually blowing air this way. Both of them are blowing air this way, and then these are wait, am I tripping? Oh yeah, no, these are also blowing air this way. So really, yeah, like all of them are blowing air into the PC, which I don't really mind. It's probably not ideal for the 420 millimeter ride, but it's like the reason why I don't care is because it's 420 millimeters. So it's like, and it still gets a good amount of like these are really big fans. They blow a good amount of air. Oh, and then I have one more Arctic fan in the back here. P14 140 millimeter variant. My motherboard, Gigabyte Gaming XAXV2, great motherboard. It does have a couple of quirks and a couple like I don't like the BIOSes. I think it's a great motherboard, but sometimes I feel like they break shit in the BIOSes on BIOS updates. And I'm not even just referring to mixed mode. Obviously, that's a whole thing in and of itself. But in terms of Gigabyte, I don't know what they do with the BIOSes, but sometimes it just I will say though this has been the most reliable motherboard I've ever owned. All my other do not recommend going ASUS with motherboards. They always break. They always have issues. Do not go ASUS. Just flat out. Either go MSI or Gigabyte. They're always reliable. They always get the job done. And yeah, or I like ASRock is okay, but with the whole 9800 or 9800X3D debacle where they're blowing up, don't recommend. Oh, and then can't forget about the power supply. The cool thing about having a giant PC case is that you can literally use this for storage. So I actually don't have that much stuff down here, but yeah, you can just like there's so much room down here. You could put a ton of shit down here and like just close it up and not even think about it. But anyways, my power supply I have is the Seasonic Focus 1000 watt, and that's why I was talking about future proofing. I could throw a 5090 probably if I wanted to when the 6090 comes out. I could throw a 6090 in this baby and damn and be fine. So yeah, with power supply, definitely overspec. In my personal opinion, Seasonic is the best there is. Try going Seasonic. You might spend a little bit more money. I got a great deal on this though. I think I paid $130 at Micro Center for this. So yeah, Seasonic is like really, really when it comes to power supply is the best. They have great quality. And God, okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of dusty and gross, but it is what it is. And so is this. I definitely, it's been a minute since I cleaned my PC. But, and then let's see. So yeah, that I have, obviously three connectors going into the GPU. Gonna need that for the 550 watt BIOS. And then let's see, what have I not gotten to? Um, Well, I guess we can go through the build or whatever. So my mouse, disregard the disk is kind of a mess right now. Cable management is like what the hell. But got the Logitech Pro Superlight, great mouse. Weird thing about this mouse though is that the 2000 hertz and 4000, well, 2000, 4000, 8000 hertz polling rate sometimes have weird issues in games that don't support a higher polling rate than 1000 hertz. So just be wary of that. If you have any stuttering or weirdness going on in games, test out your mouse like polling rate. That could be the issue. And then my monitor is a Samsung G8, 4K, 240 hertz, this and that. Really, really favorite mod. It's pretty much it's a VA panel, which obviously viewing angle are trash, but it's like I'm not gonna be looking at my monitor at like crazy a crazy viewing aid. But in terms of HDS HDR 2000, really great. And I've been using this same keyboard for like 4 or 5 years now. It's the Razer Ornata V2. I can't remember, but it has the hybrid switch or hybrid keys or whatever. It's like membrane mechanical. So they still click, but it's great for typing because I need something that has some you know some type of like the okay on newer mechanical switches if you could barely you could I could put my barely touch this and it'll go down and then it'll register as a key press on my Razer keyboard. I actually have to press down in order for the key press to like go down. So I do not like those newer keyboards. This is if this one ever breaks, I'll probably just buy another one. Because when I type pretty hard, so I accidentally will hit like other keys on newer keyboards, and that's just so aggravating. So yeah. Very great. Keep definitely recommended. I've had it for a while. It's never broken or anything. As much as people hate on razor quality, like this is actually the one razor product that's like I've never had a problem with ever. And it actually, I mean, it's pretty decent quality, and I love the hybrid switches. Like by far my favorite that I've ever used. Oh, and then my headset, just a basic what is this? It's a Rig headset. It's the Rig like 800X HX or something like that. Yeah, it works. It's great. It's wireless, so you don't got to deal with wire. Look at all these wires. I mean, what am I talking about here? But yeah. So great headset though. Like the ear cups are starting to fall apart, so I need to get them replaced. But other than that, they still work perfectly fine. They still hold a good battery charge. And then it has the dock, obviously. Let's see if I can. So got the dock. So it's and then that's how it charges. So very solid headset. If in terms of like the Astral A50s, don't recommend because they're like way too damn expensive, and you can get the same experience pretty much with each. Only thing is the microphone sucks ass. So on like an Astral headset, it might be better. That's why I have this. Oh, that's my. If you're wondering what I use for my microphone, it's the Fifine like $30 mic from Micro Center. So yeah, definitely recommend. It works great. Um, with noise canceling, it works great. Like not, no no gripes or anything. So yeah, we got the 420 millimeter AIO. Definitely recommend Arctic. They do a great job. Normally they're some of the best coolers you could buy. Um, Obviously 420 might be unrealistic, so look for like a 360. Arctic fans run great, very cost effective, very affordable. Lian Li fans, if you're just new to building and if you have a price limit, do not buy Lian Li fans. Do not buy them. Do not let them cut into your budget. They're a waste of money. Um, once you put your PC build together, maybe a year or two down the line, and you got a little bit of budget to throw towards your PC, then you can get some Lian Li fans. But if you're just new into getting into PC building or whatever, waste of bread, complete waste of money. Put it towards your GPU or CPU or RAM or something else. Um, even a nicer motherboard. Like not that motherboards matter all that much, but like I feel like motherboard still matters more than you can when you can go with the Arctic P14 or Arctic P12. There's no reason why you need to be spending extra on Lian Li fans. The only saving grace that Lian Li fans have are how they connect together. Super convenient. Okay. And well, next thing I wanted to actually mention on is if you want to very easily space your fans, this is the best solution I've found so far to space fans with a good, where I can slide my hand under here pretty much. Um, are these little like I don't even know what to call them, but they're like hooks, and then they screw into the fan obviously, and then they give it like maybe an inch of clearance. So that's a very good method. I was struggling for a very long time to find a good method for this, and this is the best method that I found by far. And it looks, I mean, it kind of looks a little, little odd, I guess, but like if you wanted to really go crazy, you could paint them or something, make them look really, really nice and this and that. But for right now, I really don't care. Like this works really great, and to me, it looks clean, no issues. And soon, I do care about aesthetics, right? But it's not at the forefront. It's kind of more of like a fun project if I want to change the way something looks or something like but it's not at the forefront of my mind by any means. I mean, I think it's relatively. Oh, and then also I forgot to mention the Arzopa screen. I don't actually have it. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can plug it in. Real quick. Oh fuck! I have the Actually, no, I can probably. Oh, can I? Shit. I don't know if I can. Oh, that's why. Is that even? Oh, this. Well, I guess I'm unplugging this. Okay, well, it works. You see, it turns on. I don't know if it'll actually display a picture. Oh, it did well. Okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, obviously, I have it in. I don't normally use it, but it's kind of cool, you know. You can set like a custom background for it. Like, this is okay. I'm not even gonna talk about this actually because it's kind of like, don't even worry about this. I got this for like $50 at Micro Center, and I just wanted to, because I was actually looking at my case and I was like, God, that looks like it would fit a screen really well. And I bought this and it almost fits perfectly. This little like rectangle. It's like it. You have a little bit of gap right here, but it's like it still fits almost perfectly. Um, and yeah, so, it's just there. I normally don't even really use it, but it was kind of like a fun, like I said, little project, kind of cool to mess around with. But when it comes down to it, half the time I have it unplugged anyways, because it's kind of just like, damn, a waste anyways. But so don't even, it's just that's just kind of a cool add-on or whatever. But yeah, definitely have some fans under your GPU. Get some fans that connect because that makes it super convenient. That lowered my XTX temps by like 4 degrees C on the hotspot, so I definitely recommend doing that. Um, because regardless of your GPU, it'll probably do the same. So even if you have really good temps, it's like you can always make temps better. And so putting two fans under here is relatively low hassle and it works really well to actually decrease GPU temps. If you're looking to overclock RAM, definitely look into some fans, but I mean that's not obviously super necessary right when you begin. Just don't even really worry about that. But at some point, if you want to go ahead and overclock your RAM and start messing with voltages, fans are really a great way to like keep like not a great way. They're the best way to keep your RAM cool, right? And then make sure you get a good CPU cooler that can be carried over from generation to generation, and you don't have to worry about it. This cooler, I'll transfer this over to whatever CPU I get next. If for whatever reason I went Intel, I can just contact Arctic and be like, hey, let me get those new, the new socket screws or whatever, and they'll probably, I'll be able to they'll send it over, and then I'll be able to still use the same CPU cooler because a 420 millimeters not going to be a limiting factor for any CPU for the foreseeable future. And neither really is a 360. So it's like buy a good CPU cooler, one that you're going to be able to reuse. Do not buy like a 120 millimeter AIO or even really a 240 millimeter. Very least get a 280 millimeter. Get a 280 millimeter AIO that's going to be two 140 millimeter fans, and that should be fine. Um, but um, but ideally you go with 360 millimeter to 420 millimeter. Now, I get 420 is kind of overkill, but it's like, you know, if you can find one for a really good price like I did, then go for it. And you guys can. That's the thing people don't do or they don't realize is that you can get really really good deals on coolers, but people just don't look for them. So if you don't look for them, then you're never gonna find them and you're never gonna get them. So um that's the only way I was once again able to get my XTX for $450. And I got my 7800 X3D for like 220. I got my RAM for shit. What did I get my RAM for? I think I bought like I paid like 140 for it, but that was after RAM prices went up to $300. And I sold my other sticks for like 280 or something on eBay. Um, so, you know, call me a dickhead for doing that, but at the end of the day, that's just the price RAM was at that time anyways. So it's like I wasn't I feel like scalping would be more like if I was trying to ask for $400 to $500. Like I was really trying to, cut into that or whatever. But 300 was literally was way cheaper than what they were at Micro Center. At Micro Center, the same sticks were like $375 or something. And I was selling them for like 290. I think I ended up selling them for like 285 or 290. I can't remember. So they actually got a pretty decent deal for what it was. Um, but anyways, in motherboard, like I said, go Gigabyte or MSI. Don't get Asus. You're probably gonna have problems. If you don't have problems, yeah, good for you. Like that's fine. But I wouldn't even risk it. To be honest with you, I've had a million Asus boards. They all have that given issue because Asus boards tend to look cool, right? Like they look cool. people like the way that they look, you know, and so they buy them, but they don't realize they're kind of buying an iffy sort of, you know, it could be okay, but it's like it's like 70% of the time you're gonna find some sort of problem. Um, or it's just gonna break eventually. So yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Yeah, with the build. Like this is I feel like a very like if you were trying to build a very high-end PC for not a lot of money, this is the most realistic build. Except for you know, forget about the screen. The screen's stupid. You know, some of these fans are stupid, like the RAM fans. Like, you don't need them. But and then in terms of the, you know, 1,000 watt power supply, very, you know, just a good idea. You know, good idea to get more than what you need, right? I've never had my PC turn off due to my power supply. Never. Once I got this 1,000 watt, it's plenty for the 550 watt BIOS and the XTX. Plenty for anything that I throw at. You know, I've never had it ever shut down or have any issues. Um, let's see what else. What else? I do recommend getting a fan hub. I have a fan hub in the back that can support like 12 fans. It's just like a generic fan hub. It's not a Liam Lee fan hub or anything. But yeah, that's why I'm able to run so many freaking fans in this bad boy. Um, and then obviously, I think I mentioned, but yeah, I have 7800X3D, great chip. I haven't got, you know, that goes into me being cost conscious. Is like I could get a 9800X3D, and matter of fact, I really do want one, but it's like I don't feel like spending 300 something dollars on a CPU right now when the 7800X3D is already plenty at 4K. But if I got a 9800X3D, it'd be because of the frequency bump that you're able to get with the 9800X3D. But it's like at this point, I've already waited this long. I'm gonna wait for the next series that AMD comes out with, and then maybe upgrade depending on performance improvements. Um, let's see, what have I missed? Um, oh, matter of fact, y'all might be surprised by this, but I'm actually using Wi-Fi. I don't even use Ethernet, and honestly, I've had no issues. Don't let anybody bully you into because I've used Ethernet. Well, holy shit, this is all types of bent and shit, but regardless, I've used Ethernet and Wi-Fi, and to be honest, like yeah, Ethernet's definitely better. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely better. But if your only option is Wi-Fi, it's like don't fucking run an Ethernet cable through mom's house to them, you know, to get Ethernet. Just use Wi-Fi. Yeah, that'll work, you know. But make sure you use, you know, the antennas your damn motherboard comes with because that will first off, some motherboards you can't even connect to Wi-Fi without them, and second off, um, it'll you know, they're there for a reason. They make your connection significantly better when you use them if your motherboard can connect without them. So definitely use those for sure. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully, here I'm gonna go ahead and put this back over here. Because honestly, I've been well, recently I've been struggling with thinking of videos to make because with the XTX, like yeah, it's a beast with 550 watt BIOS, but it's or even unlocked, but there's only so much you can really do with it. Because at the end of the day, it's just a GPU where you up the power limit, you gain more performance, you up the clock speed, you gain more performance, you up the memory clock, you gain more performance. 7800X3D, I'm kind of fucked because you can't really overclock it except for PDO, and that's boring as hell. That's why I really want a 9800X3D because I'd love to make a video on overclocking that. And then RAM, obviously, I do have some new timings that I'm going to share with you guys. Not right now, but soon. That should work on nearly um, every single kit of Hynix. M die, it'll definitely work on A die, and it'll well maybe work on A die. And I'll get into that on the timings you might have to adjust with A die. But yeah, because I know I did that CL26 video, and CL26 is just weird. It'll show up as stable in Windows, but then it'll have weird instability even when it passes stress tests. So it's yeah, I'll have to go over that at a later time. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Hope you know um, informative. And I gave you some good tips and tricks. Definitely in terms of GPU, put some fans under it. Definitely put some fans under it because normally the GPU fans that come like that are part of the fan shroud and everything, it's like they're good, but they're not great. And so having fans under there will really help push more air through them without really adding more noise. Even just having them at like 50% where you can't really hear them, even 40%, it's like just getting that extra bit of air helps those fans that your GPU already has pull more air in, right? It's like air density, right? The air, um, yeah, just generally like the how much air is able to be pushed through increases, and the density of the air increases as well because it's more air. It's you're getting more volume of air going up into those fans. Um, and there's a name for them actually. Um, Name for that. It's the let me see. I can't remember what the name is. What determined what? Oh shit! Well, okay. Regardless, I had to disconnect my keyboard in order to plug in the screen. But yeah. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.